Tuesday on Tuesday, October 8th. Did not make a video last week. Last week was really crazy. It's kind of weird because I only took one day off of work the week before, but I don't know. All hell kind of broke loose. So there's a lot going on. I'll talk more about that later. But you can see I've been catching up on the Project Linus Mystery quilt. I did finally call an audible and decide I'm doing the small version, which is still pretty darn big. I mean, it's probably, you know, middle school age size at least. So these trees did not get finished. Some of them are in perfect condition and they will just get used in another Linus quilt at some point. Because I'm doing the small version, I only need 3 of the bear paws, so I'll pick the ones that I feel like go best. The other 3 can go in another quilt with these. And then there were a few where, you know, sometimes when you're paper piecing and you're really trying to squeeze every bit out of a fabric, and it's just not quite big enough. I had a few trees that were like that, where they weren't quite big enough when I tried to finish them. So those obviously are in here, and those will actually, the ones that didn't make it this far, because this one's totally fine, right? The ones that didn't get this far because I had a piece that was too small. Those, I'm just going to go ahead and take the paper off and take those apart and keep those scraps for more stuff in this quilt. So week 1 was the bear paws. I need 3 of those for the small quilt. I have 6, so obviously I'll be picking 3. Trees. This is the Forest of Trees. This is week 2. Still going with my batiks. I have a few, this one here, and this one here that I think technically aren't, oh, this one right here, that I think technically aren't batiks. But I felt like they went enough with it to work. Close enough for rock and roll, right? And then this is week 3, which came out while I was away hanging out with my sister and brother at the ukulele festival. And so I just finished these this weekend, and these were super easy because I just needed to trace the bear pattern onto some Steam 2 double-sided, attach it to the back of the batik, and cut out my bears. I only needed 2 bears. Cut out my bears, fuse them onto a piece that was like around 10 inches square, and then I zigzagged all the way around the bear. I did try a satin stitch first, and I had some serious problems, so I ended up ripping that out and going back and doing a zigzag, which I was much happier. It's a lot easier to control on the Kenmore with the zigzag. Yeah, so these are my 2 bears. I really love the bears. I love the fabrics that I ended up sticking them on, so those are a lot of fun. I'm really excited. This quilt is really coming together, and I'm having fun. So this past weekend, they released week 4, and that is log cabins. And they're paper pieced again, just like the trees were. They're paper pieced. I only need 2, so I have everything all printed out and ready to go. And I will allow myself to start on those when the granny square blanket, made out of all the zillion of granny squares that I started in January at the very first Project Linus meeting of 2019. I started those granny squares out of scrap yarn. And I have 4 left that I need to add a black border onto and weave in all the ends on those 4, and then I'm ready to join those. I got an extension. I was wanting to turn those in this month because our meeting would have been this Saturday, but this coming Saturday, but they're doing some kind of repairs or something in our room, so we've been bumped back a week, and we're actually, so I have not quite 2 weeks in order to finish that. So I'm hoping I'll be able to finish something else in the meantime. Who knows? But for sure, I'll have that Granny Square blanket done. I want it out of my life. And yes, that's 42 Granny Squares. 42. That's way too many. I'm not letting myself start any more crochet. I'm not letting myself start on week 4 of the Project Linus Mystery Quilt until that blanket is done. That's it for me. I did have a fantastic weekend with my brother and my sister. We determined that we cannot let ourselves go another 5 years without hanging out together like this again. So while we may not do this every year, we're talking about maybe every couple of years doing something like this where it's at an ukulele festival or a folk festival or something like that where we can get together. I learned so much. And it was just so much fun, and it was relaxing, and we just had a good time. So, yeah, that's it for me. I look forward to watching your videos. I hope everyone gets some time to do some craft therapy this week, and I will see you next week. Bye!